Jai Hare Krishna, Lilamai Prabhu.
Uh,
How are you today?
yeah, I'm really good. So happy to be here with you.
We are always happy. Yes, when the time is ticking, we say, hey, hey, very soon. It's so special, so special. Are you part of the group that is helping with the translation of the books into Portuguese?
Not. No, I'm not. Maybe I will.
And what is the book they are working on now?
Review truth.
Wow, very nice.
Mm.
Very nice.
I think
Oh,
the translating is already finished. Now they are revising,
okay, okay. They are reviewing.
reviewing. Yes.
Yes, well done. Very good. It's so important to have it in as many languages as possible.
Govinda, Govinda.
Good morning, obeisances, Maharaj.
Chilly good morning, obeisances.
I imagine.
Quite chilly here. Yes, morning obeisances. Leela Moy Prabhu Dana K with us from the beginning. Lots of hearts, heart, flower, leaf, obeisances. And on my screen, a little question mark. I'm not sure what the little question mark.
It's another flower.
It's another
flower. And before the other flower is a peacock.
Oh, well, it's the peacock that I don't see. It's got a little question mark for the peacock. Yeah. Okay, nice. And Chintamani Devirasi in the sunny, the photograph at least, is sunny California, pretty much, we are expecting. All right, so dear devotees, we are coming together. Oh my goodness, Jayadev Prabhu's put wonderful picture of Guru Maharaj. We've been meeting up with more of our all too rare God brothers in the world this week, which is also very happy. Quite a famous one in one sense. Hari Kirtan Prabhu.
Hari Kirtan.
Yes, not physically, but had a very long and happy chat with him over the well, WhatsApp or one of Telegram.
From New York. Is he still in New York?
Yeah, well, yes, near New York, New Jersey, yes.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we are coming together one by one. So let us just do our invocation as devotees arrive, because more may arrive as we are chanting. Then we can give a greeting. We give a greeting now to everyone, but in a moment, maybe everyone and more. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitang Tang Sa Jivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Cha Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. And Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratvijay Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vas Adi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So a morning welcome to you all. Jivana Devirasi just joined us, but we just finished our mini Vandanam of the morning, Jivana. So welcome to Jivana and nearby Chinmoy Dev Prabhu. Nearby to you, he'll be nearby to us very soon, I heard. Very good. And Sevarupa Devidasi, nearby, relatively in South Africa, in the same, exactly the same time zone, but just a difference between hemispheres, etc. And Gangalila Devidasi, also in sunny California, by the looks of things. And Priyanana Devidasi with her flower. And Dana we greeted, Jayadev Prabhu we greeted, Chintamani Devidasi we greeted, and Paramananda Prabhu and Tunga Vidya, and who's behind you? Sitting in the corner. Huh? Is it Kanai?
No, that's Vilas Prabhu here.
Oh, Prabhu, please excuse, I couldn't see. Mixing you up with Kanai Prabhu. Kanai Didi, Hare Krishna. Okay, now I can see because I've got you big on the screen. All right, I had you on the little thing. Okay, so there, Paramananda is in the far east, Japan. Hare Krishna. So anyway, we've come together. We're in one place, and actually the place we're coming to is the place where we can share with each other something about the basics of Krishna consciousness. And we always want to keep reminding ourselves, not only reminding ourselves so that we can repeat something parrot fashion, as it were, but reminding ourselves so that we can really engage properly in devotional service. So, okay, so instead of me starting off, which we can definitely start off, asking yourselves, first of all, who would like to raise a topic which you feel, well, anyway, who would you like to raise, who of you would like to raise a topic? Of course, it would be a topic that you'd feel that you wish to address or think is important, or a question. Any hand?
Maharaj, I have our hand raised.
Okay, behind Guru Maharaj, you have a hand raised, or rather in front of Guru Maharaj, you must have a hand raised.
I can show you. Oh, look, I show up on video. It's light enough. My topic of choice today is Śrīla Bhakti Pavan Janārdan Mahārāj. For us, in his area of leadership, you could say it's his appearance day. I would love to hear some of your reflections about him. Special Vaishnava.
Okay. A good start, and indeed we should give honor to all of the, to all Vaishnavas, but all of those in particular that have got particular backing from above and grace from above, and not only backing from above, but that backing of above to distribute the grace which is coming to them, to the whole world, to the devotees. And so, yes, although Gurudev, he gave some indication of areas about, oh yes, in America, in California, then Janārdan Mahārāj, he will be the guru, that he has been the Ritvik, and now he will be the guru for that area, the particular leader. It's a natural development, if you like. And Gurudev and Janārdan Mahārāj, they had their unique relationship, and everyone has their unique relationship. So in what way shall I describe? The description will be, first of all, that Janārdan Mahārāj is, by the way, you're saying today is his appearance day. For us, it was yesterday. And just to let you know, our devotees here baked him a cake and gave like a sweet offering of a cake, and we had our remembrance of Janārdan Mahārāj yesterday, so we're happy to continue that today. But Janārdan Mahārāj, he's the most senior, if you like, but it means in the sense of when he very first came to Krishna consciousness, and he's the most senior amongst our family of leaders. And he came, I don't know the exact date, but I know that he came a little while before Goswami Maharaj, because it's actually from Srila Goswami Maharaj that I know that Srila Janārdan Mahārāj is elder than him in Krishna consciousness. So he's from Srila Prabhupada's time, and he was a leader in ISKCON, and he got some particular grace from Srila Prabhupada, In particular, and I mean, quite noteworthy was that he was appointed by Srila Prabhupada to the Governing Body Commission, which is the committee that looks after ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada setting up a management system with leading devotees he had faith could do such a thing, and who he gave, of course, some capacity to do that, because Srila Prabhupada distributing capacity. And so he appointed him to the GBC, but I don't know of anybody else that Srila Prabhupada said like this, but he appointed Janārdan Mahārāj to the GBC as a lifelong member of the GBC. So there we've got some like specific grace coming from Srila Prabhupada. And he came to Srila Guru Maharaj, and he came to Srila Guru Maharaj a little later on. When he came, there was some buzz in Chaitanya Sarasat Mat, because, oh, one of the ISKCON gurus, he's coming and taking shelter of Guru Maharaj. And this was kind of a big deal, because from the senior section of ISKCON, there was a lot of resistance for anybody to come to Guru Maharaj. But presently, Srila Janārdan Mahārāj came to Guru Maharaj, and that was quite a deal for the temple. That he was coming to cross the river, as they said, apparently in ISKCON, to cross the river. And they made a resolution, don't forget, ISKCON's GBC made a resolution that that anybody who goes across the river to Śrīla Maharaj cannot come back. So Janārdan Mahārāj took that boat, as it were, that boat across the river to Guru Maharaj. And his name at that time, oh, somebody has to tell me what his name was. Oh,
Panchadravida Swami.
Right.
Yeah, Panchadravida.
Panchadravida Swami. And he himself is the best person to explain how he became Panchadravida Swami. Because, well, but you're asking me, so I'll relay it also. But I mean, he happily tells a story. That's why he's the best person. Like Gurudev is the best person for telling many of the Leela stories, because he gets very much into the mood of the characters. Well, Janārdan Mahārāj is the character in this one, and he certainly gets in his own mood. And he approached Srila Prabhupada for sannyas. Like, he very much wanted sannyas, and I need sannyas. And he very lively way says that I approached Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada said, why do you want sannyas? And then Janārdan Mahārāj, and I don't know his name as a brahmachari, but some of you knowledgeable souls may do. He said to he answered to Srila Prabhupada, because I can't get along with any of my godbrothers. and then Srila Prabhupada said, good reason. I mean, this I heard repeatedly from Janārdan Mahārāj. So he's happy to tell that story. So I'm relaying that story, but it was part of his eagerness that he will receive sannyas so that he could do something himself. And he's super fluent. Well, I think he's super fluent in Spanish. I don't know Spanish, but he seems to chatter away quite merrily in Spanish. And actually so much so that I at first, and Janārdan knows it too, I at first for a while thought that Janārdan Mahārāj was mother tongue was Spanish, that he was a Spanish speaker, that he was from Mexico or South America or somewhere, and that English was his second language. And perhaps it's because that, I sometimes wonder why now, but perhaps it is because somehow I was introduced to him, or I first heard about him before he came to the mat, that he's a guru in ISKCON from South America, who preaches in South America, perhaps in South America and Mexico. This way, So this thought is in our mind, and his English, then I thought, was his second language. He knows. He reminds me sometimes. And of course, Janārdan Mahārāj and myself definitely have some different opinions about what is English because of the American version, Hare Krishna. And because he had extensive association, and a good friend of his was Shruta Shravana Prabhu, who became Vaishnava Mahārāj. And so they were there together in California a lot. And so naturally, some of Vaishnava Mahārāj's opinions about American English and British English may have rubbed off on Janārdan Mahārāj. Hare Krishna. Anyhow, we've seen that throughout all of these years, then Janārdan Mahārāj, he's like a father to the family, is my impression. When we go to California, there are so many devotees who turn up for festivals, and you do think, where did they all come from? Like so many devotees are in that Californian area. And actually, we were engaged in chanting Janārdan Mahārāj's glories here yesterday, as I said, and giving some special remembrance. And we were actually thinking, feeling that he's more like an uncle to the devotees than a father, because an uncle is kind of playful with the, what's it? Not cousin, nephews and nieces. That's a relationship, right? Nephew, an uncle, someone's uncle, that person is a nephew or niece, yeah.
Yes.
So he's like very playful with the devotees, you know, including his own disciples. He has a very kind of playful relationship with them, more or less. It was not my idea, but the devotees are thinking he's like an uncle to them. And he's always traveling. It means he says, I'm not going to travel anymore. And then he's on a plane again within a few days, going somewhere. And of course, everybody stopped during COVID, but he's active and meeting the devotees. And especially in Mexico, he's got a very dear disciple to him, and a disciple who Janārdan Mahārāj is very dear to, Pitamba Prabhu, who's a very sweet servitor who just fits in with whatever it is that Maharaj wants. And well, Jivana Devidasi is there, and Chinmoy Prabhu is there, Chinmoy Dev Prabhu is there, and they both have a close relationship from his preaching there. But everybody is seen around the world how the Sokal Seva Ashram has continued like steadily all these years, and not only festivals, but daytime programs. And Janārdan Mahārāj is one of the devotees who so much appreciates Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we're always very happy to be within his enthusiastic talks on Chaitanya Charitamrita and the Leelas of Mahaprabhu. And so many things. We've seen him from his coming to Guru Maharaj time all the way through to the present time, and many pastimes. Jai. Jai Śrīla Janārdan Mahārāj. Shri Vyasa Puja Ki Jai. Jivana Dedi, I see you're highlighted. Oh, Chinmoy Dev was highlighted too.
Because they can say something very beautiful about Śrīla Janārdan Mahārāj.
Exactly. You took more or less the words out of my mouth. So I shall be silent and let you continue. Jivana first, kindly. Also one of the rare souls, I mean, increasingly rare souls. Please treasure everybody who's got that connection of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev. They can really help us along to understand their nature. So Jivana Didi, please.
Well, certainly all of you are also certainly in that situation of having the divine association through words and listening and hearing. And so we had a really nice program today in Santa Cruz in SoCal, and many of the devotees and disciples spoke very beautifully. Actually, I thought that my offering to Maharaj would be ditto, because everybody said so many beautiful things, and especially about Janārdan Mahārāj's very sweet mood. And I always think about Janārdan Mahārāj that he's very clear, he's clean. It's like he's pure. He doesn't have something else going on besides what he's saying and what he's doing. And the only thing really he's doing is serving Srila Govinda Maharaj. He's totally sold out, devoted to Govinda Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, and Prabhupada. And he doesn't have anything else going. And when you deal with him, he's very friendly with everybody. And like you said, he can joke around a lot, but that's actually always his mood. And a lot of that joking around just pulls people in. Even one of the moms was saying that her children, actually two of the moms, right, Chinmoy Devu, I think it was Amrita and also Saraswati, were mentioning that their kids at different times were with Janārdan Mahārāj, and he told a story or he told a really funny joke, and they just remember it, and they always think of Janārdan Mahārāj as one of their dear friends. And he has a relationship like that with everybody in the community without being, I don't know, like it's just natural, I guess what I want to say. It's not something that he's pushing or something that he's, making some show or some way to do. It's just real natural for him. And also, like you said, he has such a love for the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he's very, very devoted to doing that class. He does it practically every day when he's in town, and has gone through the Chaitanya Charitamrita many times, and also the Chaitanya Bhagavat. And it's one of the main reasons he loves to go to India during Gaur Purnima, for a couple of reasons. The main reason, of course, is that Guru Maharaj had said that he liked it when the sannyasis all came for Gaur Purnima. And then the other thing is every time he goes, he just feels like he's walking through the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He remembers all the pastimes and everything, and all the different places. So always really makes him happy. And so many people brought those things up, and it's funny how you told about how he became a sannyasi because he couldn't get along with his godbrothers. It's true. He just loves to tell that story. And but one thing that I was going to say besides those things, and the fact that he's very humble and very purely devoted, is that's very interesting, is when we first came from ISKCON to Srila Guru Maharaj, one of the points that Srila Guru Maharaj made was that an acharya, besides having the relationship with his disciples, he should always maintain a good relationship with his godbrothers. And one of the reasons is that disciples will always let you do whatever you want to do. And they will never say anything. They're just going to follow. But once in a while, a godbrother can take you into another room and say, hey, why are you doing it this way? We should be doing it this way. He can actually tell things to the acharya, which the disciples cannot do. And he can do that, but Guru Maharaj made a very firm point, never in front of any of his disciples. But once in a while, he may do, a godbrother may do that and can have a discussion like that to see, hey, are we really going the right direction on this one? And I have to say with Janārdan Mahārāj is he really keeps all of his, he has all his disciples, but he also keeps all of the godbrothers very close to him and takes them into consideration always. If anybody comes to Janārdan Mahārāj, he considers things. It's not like he just throws it out the window. So I thought that was I always think that's a really amazing quality of Janārdan Mahārāj. And he has a lot of godbrothers to deal with. Like you said, Maharaj, that especially in California, there's many older godbrothers and people who are not afraid to share their opinions or bring things up. And he's very gracious about it, and he may say yeah or he may say no and have a discussion about it, but it's something that he does naturally. Again, not like he's trying to do anything fancy. That's just his nature, and he feels that's part of his program. So that's something that I was thinking about today.
Jai, so you attended the festival today. It was held in the temple room?
Yes, yes, yes. Mostly I was in the kitchen and not paying, you know, as usual, not paying a whole lot of attention. But I did tune in at different times. But Chinmoy Dev Prabhu was there. And Chinmoy Dev Prabhu is known for paying attention.
Okay, so let's hear from Chinmoy Dev. But just before we do, just a little reminder from what you said just now. You said that when he goes to India, when he goes to Navadip, well, the whole of India, but it's like he's walking through Chaitanya Charitamrita. But also when he goes to Bengal, another wonderful thing for him in particular, and for many of us, is that he's eating, he's honoring prasadam like in Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Right.
He knows when we are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita and we've got a list of like the preparations that were made at Advaita Acharya's festival or whatever festival it may be. Sometimes they have those lists, and Janārdan Mahārāj, he's very happy to remember most of those, and maybe he knows every one of those items. And when we're in Bengal, really it's like having a feast in Chaitanya Charitamrita.
That's very true, yeah. And he always notices too how Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also very much alert to many of the preparations, and many of those are brought up in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. But that's very true about Janārdan Mahārāj. He loves to hear about them and experience them as he's going through his life.
Jai. Jai Jivanidhi, many thanks. So Chinmoy Dev Prabhu, first hand there in the festival. Please, over to you.
Dhanavad Maharaj, Dhanavad pranams to everybody. Yes, it was a very nice festival, and especially nice because Sanatani came in right after the songs were done and said, Maharaj, we're going to let everybody else speak. So everybody had a chance to praise him, and he had to remain silent and hear from all of us. But the one thing I noticed most about Janārdan Mahārāj is because when you notice this as well in your time in India with Gurudev, you know, most, I would say 90%, 95% of the people who are coming to Gurudev were in that relationship between servant and guru, that type of awe and reverence and respect they were giving to Śrīla Govinda Mahārāj. But we both saw the relationship that Janārdan Mahārāj had with Śrīla Govinda Mahārāj, and it was much different. It was a friendly relationship. They were friends, and it's a much higher and more intimate type of relationship. And so I'm always reminded of that when I'm thinking of Janārdan Mahārāj, that type of closeness he had with his guru, that type of relationship. And even to the point where I heard Śrīla Govinda Mahārāj say one time, I know you will never leave me, and I will never leave you. And he even added, even if I beat you, you will not leave me. So that type of close relationship he had with Śrīla Govinda Mahārāj is most worshipful. And, you know, just to have that connection, he had that connection, and we have that connection with him now, and he's present. So we are very fortunate to have some great Vaishnava on the planet still.
Jai. And who came in, did you say, and was like the MC and is told that now, please be quiet, Maharaj?
Sanatani Didi.
Who?
Sanatani.
Oh, Sanatani. Oh, yes. I was wondering who had the adhikar to do that. Sanatani, she has the adhikar. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, it was very nice. And also, we sent the video that you sent out to Śrīla Janārdan Mahārāj. We sent it to Śrīla Janārdan Mahārāj, and he responded. And I think we sent you the response
to Madhurananda, but you can read it.
to Madhurananda.
You can read it.
I can read the response if you'd like.
If it's a good response.
Dear Maharaj, stop bothering me. No, I'm just kidding. No, he wrote, Dandavat, this is Śrīla Janārdan Mahārāj. Dandavat, I'm very fortunate to get the affectionate well wishes of Madhusudana Maharaj and all the Italian devotees. You are all kind and wonderful persons. A person such as myself is so blessed to receive such affection. Today I was thinking, what can I do to be with the Italian devotees? Now I have got some good fortune to hear from all of you. Jai.
Jai to the Italian devotees, and I know he must be including in there the Ukrainian Italian devotees too. I mean, that's the part of the family here. Wonderful. Well, we feel blessed to receive that reply, Prabhu. I appreciate. And look, here's a classic, a beautiful picture.
Really?
And
It was shared just right now by
Wow.
our dear Raja Sundari.
Oh,
Okay.
legendary, beautiful.
Look at those two on the extreme left and right too. Wow, Siddhanti Maharaj and Jagadananda Prabhu ki jai.
Jai Siddhanti Maharaj
Wow.
ki jai, Jagadananda Prabhu ki jai, Guru Śrīla Gurudev ki jai, Śrīla Bhakti Pavan Janārdan Mahārāj ki jai.
Jai.
And is that Goswami Maharaj just behind Janārdan
Yes,
Maharaj? Perhaps?
behind
Yes.
Janārdan Mahārāj. Yes.
And the lady?
Looks
I
like
cannot recognize, but Jivana can tell us maybe.
it might be Madhura Priya from she's now in Australia.
Ah, it could be. It could be indeed, yes. Anyhow, no doubt those are the ones we see, but no doubt if we saw like the whole picture of everyone who's there, it would be also another like high-powered, wonderful gathering of affectionate devotees. And look at the garlands, nice garlands. And those, they're handmade. They're not bought from the market, because I don't think in California there's a single market that even sells garlands. Is there? Oh, probably at the crematorium, or that's where in some countries we find the only place where we find like handmade garlands. But even then, they're not garlands like this. They're wreaths. They're more like wreath than garland. But anyhow, yes, handmade garland. On all. And I'm sure Jagadananda had one too, but he must have given his to someone.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. And Gurudev's, look at Gurudev's what you call slippers that he wears. He liked those slippers. Somebody knows who it is who gave to them, because they gave them to Gurudev. But that's one of those gifts. Gurudev really, he wore a lot those slippers. He could put his feet straight in and they were comfortable for him.
And he had a collection.
Yes, but he didn't have so many he used.
Oh.
In that sense, I mean, he'll graciously wear some slippers sometime, but these ones he used, I'm sure they exist somewhere and probably being worshipped somewhere. Hare Krishna. And in the chat box, we put a little, it says, oh, this is what's in the chat box, a picture. Okay, got it, understand. Hare Krishna. And Paramananda Prabhu is here with us. And who else knows? Oh, Ganga Leela, he may also know from, I do not know if you know or not about Janārdan, how much you know about him, been with him. Let us hear a few words from Paramananda Prabhu. He certainly knows Janārdan Mahārāj and has been his host, had been hosting Janārdan Mahārāj also in Thailand. Paramananda Prabhu, humbly
Yes,
ask.
Maharaj, I was quite fortunate to have relationship and service opportunity to serve to Janārdan Mahārāj in a variety of rasas, we can say. If you know Janārdan Mahārāj, you understand what I mean.
Oh, aren't you going to explain? No,
well,
okay.
Some better be kept private and cherished privately. Some I can reveal to the public, but actually today we can focus on his glories and really his unique position in our group, our family. And every time when you read a biography of a Vaishnava, it starts from his early days. And I heard from Śrīla Janārdan Mahārāj numerous times about his very, very early days before joining Krishna consciousness. We can skip that part. Then joining Krishna consciousness. And he joined very early. I think he was 19 or 20 as far as I remember. And as you mentioned, very soon he he became very dear to Srila Prabhupada, and so many responsible services came to him. And at some point, he asked for sannyas, and Srila Swami Maharaj was very happy about it, and he gave him sannyas and immediately gave him service engagement, very responsible service engagement. I think his first was preaching in India. I think that happened in India, in Radha Damodar temple on Bahulashtami. I think it was the same day Srila Govinda Maharaj took sannyas. So always remembering Śrīla Janārdan Mahārāj receiving sannyas on that day in Radha Damodar temple of Vrindavan. And he is also very well known to be the first Gaudiya Vaishnav, modern day Gaudiya Vaishnav, I cannot say about the past history, who came to came to Thailand for preaching on the request of Srila Prabhupada. And he spent good 6 months in Thailand, but as he himself admits, unsuccessfully, he said, I couldn't convert any Thai person. So he stayed in different temples and tried his best, and well, it didn't happen somehow. So he flew to Hong Kong, not knowing that pretty much a flight before him was Srila Swami Maharaj's flight to Hong Kong. So when he showed up in this rented place in Hong Kong, then he saw Srila Prabhupada there, who greeted him, and he asked for more service. And then Srila Prabhupada said, you stay here, you establish something here first, and then you focus on South America, and especially Argentina, Guatemala. I don't know. I think he paid attention to Argentinian center at that time. And he did successfully establish the center in Hong Kong. And there is a devotee who is still there, a Prabhupada disciple, who translated all the books for the BBBC. And I think his name is Yashoda Sutta Prabhu. I think that's his name. He's Chinese, Hong Kongese. And he remembered those early days when Śrīla Janārdan Mahārāj was there preaching and establishing that center. Then he moved on to South America. And it was really, you have to understand, now we can say these words, we can repeat this history, but if you just think about it, how difficult it was at that time in Argentina. This is the time of the coup, when the pro-Nazi government became the government of Argentina, and so many persecutions of people, including devotees. Some devotees got persecuted, and it became so kidnapped, tortured. It became so dangerous that Maharaj said, I had to close the center. We had to close the official center. So devotees went to underground. So, and he left Argentina because it became increasingly dangerous. So he was there during the time when many people disappeared without a trace. Thousands of people were gone. And devotees were also harassed by that government. So he left it. And he went to Prabhupada and reported what happened. And Prabhupada approved that. So it was according to the time and circumstance. But he gave his, we can say, blood to that preaching. And then he preached widely in South America. In fact, he later, after Prabhupada's disappearance, became the GBC of South America. And that's another point we have to remember. We're all talking about dangers of Kana Kamini and Pratishta and how to avoid those dangers. But really, I don't have any Kana Kamini and Pratishta. So it's not so difficult for me to avoid. And many of us really don't have that opportunity in life to have something substantial from that field. But after Prabhupada disappeared, there were 11 gurus first. Then 2 more gurus were added. So there became 13 gurus who basically ruled the society. They were the GBCs. And he was appointed as a life member of GBC. Lifetime GBC, excuse me. So he became one of the 13, and he did very successful preaching, super responsible position, hundreds, if not thousands of disciples all over the world. Ironically, he's also responsible for making that decision to kick our dear Goswami Maharaj out of ISKCON society. He was part of the committee. He was also, he happily tells the story, and Śrīla Ashram Maharaj also happily tells the story. He ousted Ashram Maharaj from the temple by giving explicit orders to pack his bags and put them right in the front. So when he shows up, because he crossed the river. So he was in the enforcer of that rule as well. ironically. So he kicked our dear Asha Maharaj of ISKCON temple. And Asha Maharaj said, I was very happy to do it when I saw my suitcases packed and bags packed. And both of them were telling the stories together in Navadvip. I remember joking and laughing about it. And then all that pratishtha, all this power and money and everything else, and disciples, he is giving them all away. In fact, he is offering them a choice in order to pursue the truth and to take shelter of Guru Maharaj, because he felt this is where his heart was. That's what his heart was going. So he wanted to be with Guru Maharaj. And then I think it was the last year of Guru Maharaj's presence on this planet. He came to Guru Maharaj and offered himself at his lotus feet. And like Madhusudana Maharaj mentioned, there was a hesitation because of his position, because of his greatness, we can say, in ISKCON society. He was one of the biggest acharyas of ISKCON society. And he left that all. And the best person to hear about it is Pitambar Prabhu, who was one of his latest disciples. And Pitambar tells that when you hear the story from Pitambar, you will know the geography of all South America and how much the buses were in that time and where to take vegetarian food, etc., etc., etc. That was just a prelude to him meeting with Janārdan Maharaj in Guadalajara. And that's when it just happened. When Janārdan Maharaj told his disciples, I'm taking shelter of Guru Maharaj, and you have a choice to follow me to his lotus feet, or you can take shelter of another ISKCON gurus, but this is my decision. And he was there with quite a group of the disciples. And then Pitambar Prabhu was saying that he just took shelter of Janārdan Maharaj when that happened. And he observed that the number dwindled till one day, because he was living in a very austere environment. Suddenly he gave it up all. There was no more big garlands. There was no more fancy VIP rooms. There was no more VIP cars and everything else. He was sheltered somewhere at some place, and it was very basic. And his disciples dwindled, the number of his disciples dwindled by the day, till pretty much Pitambar was one of very few, if not like 2 or 3 left. And now Pitambar Prabhu is the only disciple from that time, like direct disciple of Śrīla Janārdan Mahārāj, who is still left. And how beautiful is this relationship? Even though he deferred to Gurudev, and he developed very friendly, very close relationship with Govinda Maharaj. And yet Pitambar Prabhu happily served Janārdan Maharaj because he had so much faith, and their relationship is very beautiful to observe. Really, a beautiful relationship between a spiritual master and a disciple. And another sign of his humility, like Jivana Didi mentioned, he's very friendly, very down to earth, very accessible. And quite often I had opportunity to serve him, because for many years he would pass through Bangkok at least twice a year. And sometime in India we would meet very often. Sometime we spent a lot of time together. And I remember one time I took his cloth. I saw his dirty cloth lying on the soil. I said, okay, I'm just gonna pick it up and put it in the washing machine. Then he jumped on me, literally jumped on me, and pulled the cloth out of my hand. I said, Maharaj, what are you doing? So what are you doing? You're my god brother. How can you serve me like that? I said, Maharaj, I'm not your god brother. You're in the Guru Varga. I'm like qualified to be your disciple. I'm aspiring to be your disciple. I said, no. You're a disciple of Govinda Maharaj, and he's my guru. I accepted him fully as my guru. So that means you're my god brother. So we had this argument. Finally, I pulled the cloth out of his hand. I said, I'm not going to do it myself. The washing machine will do the job. So there was a compromise. But really, he's a super wonderful, super friendly, super sweet friend, Vaishnava, and the Acharya, whom Śrīla Gurudev respected a lot, and whom Śrīla Gurudev entrusted our American, we can say the American preaching, not just Californian preaching, but American preaching. But we know he goes to South America a lot. And like Madhusudana Maharaj, I have to admit, I thought he was a Spanish, or Spanish speaking person. And his second language was, English. For quite a while, I thought about it. Yes. Anyhow, we can say so many wonderful stories that we observed. participated in. But there are other devotees, I'm sure, very eager to say something.
May we ask Ganga Leela Devi Dasi, because I really don't know how much you know him, but you are also, I mean, from around there, and I think you must have some insight and share something perhaps that we don't know about him also.
Maharaj, just before Ganga Leela Didi will start, there was a post I posted, Shukta Bhakta. And that's related to Prashadam. And there's a famous story. I mean, so many times Śrīla Govinda Maharaj mentions during the Prashadam, during the lunches and dinners, he mentioned Janārdan Maharaj, especially when Prashadam was tasty. But the famous story is when there was a wonderful Shukta served. And it was so good that Govinda Maharaj commented. He said, if Janārdan Maharaj knows what we're eating right now, he will kill us. It was so good. So he is also known not just to Shuddha Bhakta, but also Shukta Bhakta. It was his favorite preparation. Now, Ganga Leela Didi, please.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes, I met Janārdan Maharaj only about 1.5 years ago, I believe. And I was newly initiated maybe 2 years ago. And my very first time at the Santa Cruz ashram, I felt maybe nervous is not the right word, but I was observant. I was trying to feel my ways into it. And he made it very, very easy for me because I was not feeling that authority figure. He wasn't taking on the role of having an authority figure, an authority. And for me, it was very important to just feel his presence as a very, very, soft and sweet and welcoming, and as if I'm not a stranger at all. And that really felt wonderful to be instantly just a part of the family. And I came back a few times for festivals, and it continues to be that way, a very familiar, sweet, warm presence, which is helpful for me to be around heavyweights who don't have the air of authority around them. Because I think I don't know how to feel free in that, and so I can just completely be myself, come as myself, and know what I know, and also it's all right to not know the things I don't know, and I'm feeling there's an openness to it all.
Jai.
Yes, so thank you for letting me share.
Happily. Actually, today is a day for also the disciples and those who really have got some, feeling that, oh yes, he's our leader, and that relationship of being nourished by him, because many really their principal nourishment is coming from Janārdan Maharaj, and especially there. So Ganga Leela Didi, you've given actually a description, a very fitting description of Janārdan Maharaj. And if we're in what is it, not a competition, but if it was that we had to hear a description of somebody and then guess who it is, I think I would have guessed Janārdan Maharaj from your description. And Praneshwari Devi Dasi, I have a question for you. You are a native Spanish speaker. Just tell us the truth. How good is Janārdan Maharaj's Spanish?
He is very fluent. Really, he has a lot of vocabulary. He knows how to express, and he knows how to preach, particularly to South American devotees. So he has full command of Spanish, Maharaj. Full command.
And does his Spanish sound like he's a native speaker or an American who's speaking Spanish?
To tell the truth, is an American, a beautiful American devotee speaking in Spanish.
And to us, we're hearing him and thinking he's a Spanish person speaking American. Just see.
Sometimes
Praneshri,
in the
please,
darshan,
a contribution from yourself kindly.
in the darshans on Sunday, sometimes Ashra Maharaj and Janārdan Maharaj join, and sometimes they are discussing something and there is a word that they cannot find, and I jump in and I jump out immediately. And it is very funny because Janārdan Maharaj always relies on me. Oh, Praneshwari, just, okay, go ahead, say it. But he has full command, Maharaj, full command.
Mhm.
And my relationship with him is so sweet, so affectionate. Sometimes he's very cranky. He gets mad very easily, but just like a kid. You talk to him sweetly and you give him a lollipop and then he's happy again. Just like that. And he is really sweet and dedicated. His disciples, they just love him. He has disciples also in Salt Lake City. And you can see the affection. You can see that sweet relationship that they have. So very nice, so sweetly. He is also going to Gol Purnima now in March. He will go maybe mid-February, and Ashara Maharaj will accompany him as well. But with Janārdan Maharaj is always a surprise because he is very spontaneous, but at the same time it's just like, you know what can happen, because it's just like a childish nature that he has. But it's so sweet to be around him. So sweet to have his instructions and his association.
And he is very caring. He's a very caring person. Ramai Prabhu, the very famous, worldwide famous Pujari, when Ramai was sick, and this is before he was diagnosed with his cancer, which took his material body in the end. But before that time, then Ramai Prabhu was not well. But the doctor gave some specific instruction about what prasad he should take. Well, the doctor saying food, but we know prasadam. But what prasad he would take, and so many capable cooks and everything, but they have a rotation of cooks in the Seva ashram. So he wasn't getting consistent food as he should get, or a diet that he should be getting. And Janārdan Maharaj, he brought Ramai. He said, please, you come and stay with me. And he was staying before in a small room over in the temple building. And he called Ramai, please, you come and stay with me. So he stayed on that veranda, Janārdan Maharaj's veranda, and Janārdan Maharaj personally cooked for him. And I saw it. I was there and I saw Janārdan Maharaj, not as, oh, why have I got to do this? Nobody's looking after him properly. But actually the devotees were trying to do it. But as I say, because each day you got a different cook, then it sort of made it a little difficult for him to get what he needed. And Janārdan Maharaj happily, with care, consideration, and very sweetly looked after Ramai Prabhu. And how kind. And we know before that, we saw the picture, or we still can see the picture in the chat box of Śrīla, who became my brain.
Siddhanti Maharaj?
Siddhanti Maharaj, yeah. And then I wanted to say Chidananda Prabhu, but I was going to say Chidananda Maharaj, because we know him mostly from his Chidananda Prabhu times. Anyway, so when Siddhanti Maharaj got sick, then Janārdan Maharaj, not considering his own privacy, or he's got his own private area or something, he gave that room, one room there for Siddhanti Maharaj, and he was there a long time in that condition, his health going down and a little bit up and down that we heard, but right there, Janārdan Maharaj giving attention. So he was very caring. And by the way, I was with Janārdan Mahārāj when he got the phone call that Ramai Prabhu had passed away. And we were in London at that time. We were visiting the London ashram, and we were walking with the devotees in a nearby park in London. And Janārdan Mahārāj was, he had the phone in his pocket, and the phone kept ringing. And, Janārdan Mahārāj said, "Oh, why is the phone ringing again? And can't they stop troubling me? They know I'm in London." And like this. And anyway, the phone kept on ringing, but because again and again, he took out the phone. And when he heard the message, his mood changed within a moment. And he was like so caring. And without a second thought, he said, "I'm on the next flight back. I'm coming back," like to come and to give honor to him and to assist with all the preparation. So, really he was caring throughout. And that's, example of two people, but there's a whole example of the community of devotees there.
Oh,
Hare
Maharaj, if I
Krishna.
can add, sorry to interrupt. If I can add something, he said something very touching. He said, after Sureshwari Didi party, he said, "All my friends are going. I'm alone. They have left me."
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that so sincere, so sweet, so caring.
Indeed. And he almost, not to say feared, but he did express even before Sureshwari passes away that, oh, when she goes, who will be left? Poor Janārdan Mahārāj. I mean, really, in the sense of feeling compassion.
Maharaj, Chintamani has invited Jaidev.
Oh,
to
I was
speak.
just saying, I just started saying, and Jayadev brought up the topic, and I think Jayadev Prabhu can contribute to the topic.
I don't have much to say other than the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram. That's where I just came to Krishna consciousness, or came to know of the devotees. In 1996, I didn't come through ISKCON. I came right to Santa Cruz, and I found them right away, and I felt at home right away. And yeah, I didn't really, just seeing Janārdan Mahārāj, he seemed kind of funny, like, maybe grumpy and temperamental, and kind of moody and maybe a little funny. But the more I get to know about his life, his history, his choices, I just am in awe of what an amazing being he is. And as with all the devotees, the more I get to know about each one of you too, the same thing. It's just the stories of what you all have been through, and you're here now, and I'm just so grateful to have this living community of devotees. And that's all I really have to say. So thank you. Dandavad.
Dandavad Jayadev Prabhu, and well said from each of you indeed. And what about Chintamani Devi Dasi? She's not usually short of a few words, but she is with horses and other living entities, I know. Chintamani Devi, are you free to say a few words?
Dandavad, I'm in a bad internet zone and I don't want to sound like a robot.
You sound perfect.
Jai Zoom, Sadhu Sangha, Jai, back to Bhakti Basics, Jai Shri Bhakti Pavan Janārdan Mahārāj. Wow, what can I say? I actually spent my birthday, I can't call it Vyasa Puja. Actually, it's like the opposite. But I was just reflecting how on my birthday, I went up to Seva Ashram. And I remember that was like the highlight of my year. It was like the best day ever. Because I took myself up to Santa Cruz, not Santa Cruz, the Seva Ashram, the holy dham up there, and took shelter of the devotees. And I sat with Janārdan Mahārāj like from breakfast prasadam for like 3 hours. And we were just having a conversation. Like he was my best friend. Like I've never had a wonderful conversation like that with any sannyasi in person, I don't think. And then he showed me videos on YouTube at the end of it all. And they were like really funny cartoon videos. And it was he's just so sweet. And I can't wait to see him again. And I was telling Jaidev we should make a video to send him, wishing him a divine happy appearance day and celebrate him. And then Jaidev had the idea, I don't ever have a question for Back to Bhakti Basics, but today I'm going to suggest a topic if Maharaj asks. So I'm so glad he did. And I'm so glad it's now our 8 p.m. Pacific time. And I know how, thank you for teaching me how to be punctual. Śrīla Madhusudana Maharaj, I aspire to be a better person because of all of you. And thanks for letting me share. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams to all.
Jai, Chintamani Devi Dasi, you used every part of every second very beautifully in your presentation. All right. So one thing, and by the way, Jai, many thanks for raising the topic, because to us, it really feels like yesterday, because we did have a Janārdan Mahārāj Day yesterday, and we had a little opportunity to join in that Janārdan Mahārāj was addressing some of the devotees with the simultaneous Russian translation. Brajasundari Devidasi, I think, facilitated all that. She's with us just now. So we did see him, and we were there as a fly on the wall, actually, yesterday a little bit. And we didn't know what the arrangement was, and we came in. So we also happily saw his bubbly form, and he's not getting younger, but by body, but he maintains his youthfulness. I mean, really, we just don't even put an age on him when we see him, because his youthful nature bubbles out. And I can just say also that yesterday, when we were seeing him in conversation, everything, it was our dear Janārdan Mahārāj, all lively and young as we've always known him. All right, today I have to keep my wheels turning because we've got a flight. We're coming up to Suresh. I saw Suresh Krishnwood a little earlier on, but we've been drawn to Latvia, so I need to keep my wheels turning because we're leaving quite soon. And I suppose I should put things in a bag, at least a toothbrush, something like that. And so we need to make a little preparation. And Udaran Prabhu from Latvia is here to make sure I go, because I told the devotees, I'm not inclined to travel anywhere. Devotees can meet us on the internet by one means or another. But anyway, I'm being drawn to Latvia, and we're going to go to some programs. They're going to keep me busy for the next, including today. We've got public program today, and as well as being with devotees. And then each day we've got like 2 or 3 programs each day. So they're going to keep me busy, but I need to get a little busy now. Appreciate that you brought up the topic, and Dandi Maharaj is with us. Yes. Dandi Maharaj, you sneaked into our gathering very quietly, as is your nature to come in quietly. Maharaj, our obeisances to you, our obeisances to all of the devotees and to all of you who are contributing with your heart, and all of you who contributed with your presentation, your sharing, and all is much appreciated. And happy day. Dear devotees, take care. The basis of our life is to glorify the Vaishnavas. Please always glorify the Vaishnavas. Young, old, new, whatever may be, whatever spark of Vaishnavata is there. Always, this is our life. And especially when we get the chance to glorify those who have got the backing of our great masters. This is a great opportunity. We need the grace from above to come down, and really it will be drawn only by glorification and not by any of these other things that the internet is so infamous for. So, dear devotees, chant the glories of the Vaishnavas, chant Hare Krishna, and do something else. I forget it all. Be happy. Okay, thank you, Praneshwari. I should have asked you. Yes, what's the other thing? All right, dear devotees, please excuse me. I'll slip away. I'm afraid this week I haven't connected to the Facebook because I don't have a second connection at this time. So whoever's with us on Facebook, please excuse I couldn't address you directly, but to you all, my obeisances, and to all who will also see this in the present time in the recorded version, which we know devotees do. To all of you, we appreciate your presence and participation.
And Maharaj, wishing you a safe flight. Michael Madhava Thompson, Kitty Kadamba, Gouda Hari, and Kate Coolish.
Okay. Thank you all very much. Helped by your gracious glance, the Vaishnava's gracious glance means your gracious glance. May everything continue as it is deemed to be. Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj ki jai, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Śrīla Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai, Bhagavan, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai, Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga ki jai, Jai Shri all our present day, Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Brinda ki jai, Jai Shri Bhakti Pavan Janārdan Mahārāj, Sri Vyasa Puja ki jai, Shri and Jai Srila Bhakti Pavan Janārdan Mahārāj ki jai, Jai Shri Sokhel Seva Ashram ki jai, and the San Jose Seva Ashram, maybe San Jose Ashram, by whatever name it may be, ki jai, and to all the worldwide devotees, to all of you who are present with us, and Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gol Pemanandi, Hari Hari Bol, Bancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranam. Have a successful Seva few days. We'll meet again soon. Hari Hari. Govinda Govinda.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Have a safe flight. Yes, yes, Evarupa, go ahead.
No, don't go ahead.
One more time.
Jai Madhusudana Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
May I go now, please, taking your permission. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Maharaj.
Krishna.
Safe flight. So very nice.